Kids eat toast. Kids eat toast. Kids eat toast sometimes.
Karen, hoe gaan het?
Het gaat goed, dankie. Met jou, Sam?
Oh, that's enough Afrikaans. I've always wanted to speak to people about this, who are called Karen in South Africa. Are you aware of the Karen trend?
Yes, the name Karen or Karen has dropped by 13% apparently.
And that's just on the stock exchange.
That's just 2020, and you know, it's going to get worse. Nobody wants to be a Karen.
No, but I mean, it's just the meme culture. It's pervasive, would you say?
Yeah. It's just unfortunate because the name Karen actually means unblemished or pure, which is sad that we are now, what do you call it? What kind of a figure is a Karen?
She's not good.
She's speaking to the manager, she's complaining, she's telling the kids to stop making a noise, go back to their own country, speak their own language.
For me, the South African Karen is the one in Checkers who's complaining about something not being there. You know?
In Checkers.
Exactly. And I mean, Gordon Ramsay did a Checkers collaboration. People lost their minds. I mean, it's just like a good advertising campaign. But Karen, for me, is not Karen Zoid, the rock star, you know. She's like a Constantia mom. That's a Karen.
Karen.
Like Chepu.
Sucks, man.
Chepu, where's the stuff?
I should have changed my name when I changed my surname as well.
But I mean, you started
Greef
Properties, that was you?
Yeah, and Greef Butchery in Knysna. I touched you. I touched you.
You're going to have to take it out.
Corona. Oh, sorry.
A sang or two. The whole package. No, but this space, I mean, you've been putting on shows. What's that been like?
Quiet, because they've been mostly streaming shows. We're starting to perform now. We just did a show for 500 people outdoors at Blauklippen. It was fun. But yeah, most of my shows are streaming.
It's awkward. Do you get like the Zoom clap hands and after?
Luckily I'm used to television and I enjoy TV and I produce my own stuff. I think streaming is stressful if you don't really know what's going on. But yeah, the audience is such a huge part of a show. It's like the sound engineers, also the unseen band members. The audience is another massive component to the energy or the vibe. I actually realized how much I changed my mind on stage because of the audience.
Oh, and going with the flow, picking up what they like.
Yeah, or change songs or extend songs or throw out something, say, we're not going to do another ballad, these people want to dance. Or, I got them now, they're all nostalgic, let's do some more old stuff. You know, you kind of, it's a dance you do with them.
That's great, because I mean, you go to a concert and I kind of expect, a musician's got their set list. A guy like Ben Howard, who's like this very quirky English musician. We went to one of his concerts. He has
an all-female band.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now I can't say anything bad about him. Otherwise, he's a fucking misogynist. Cut his dick off. I mean, that's where we are right now. But
Ben.
But he didn't. No, not Ben's dick. They've probably already taken it.
Howard.
And he only spoke to the crowd in the 7th or 8th song, and then it was kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm Ben Howard. And you're like,
was
hey,
that with the
Benny.
Cure as well? They didn't even say one single thing to us. The Cure opened for the Cure. I was like, gonna meet Robert Smith. My friend made a painting for him. You know, I was like, gonna meet him. That band is so miffed. They actually, and as they're brilliant, as miffed as they are, they're brilliant. But they each came in their own car. The singer, the drummer, the bass. I don't know if they had a motor fight or whatever, but they didn't mingle. So sometimes, but I think sometimes people have maybe a bad day. But yeah, it really sucks.
No, that's terrible. I also.
What did Ben say when he spoke?
Oh no, he was like, I've got an all-female band. Women need to come out to my shows. Why is he Australian now? Karen, don't make me do accents on the spot. Fuck. No, and I just thought it's so funny to hear your experience where you chop up a set and go based on what your audience react. And here's someone who just comes out and he's got 1 to 10 and he's just going to blow through them. And I mean, each to their own. What are the crowd like in COVID?
Amazing.
Okay.
When you do get one, it's amazing. I mean, I played for 2 hours. I went to Pretoria and we were allowed to do shows in theatres at 50% capacity. So I did 2 nights. I went and shot a video, that David de Villiers song. And then I did 2 shows somewhere quickly on the side at the Atterbury Theatre. And I mean, the people are just so happy to be out. We're happy to be out. So I'm playing long shows. Every time I play now, it's almost 2 hours, an hour and a half, and then the encore lasts another half an hour. So it's just wonderful to play and to be around people. I'm an extrovert, so I feed off people. So I get really depro when I'm alone. I need people around.
Corin's all right, everyone. It sounds like it's not a cry for help. We're going to have some Afrikaans friends. That's all right for us, Corin. Wow, that was even stumpy. All the word order was correct. I thought before you came, I have to look at that Afrikaans study guide, just to make sure I had some idioms and idioma.
Words.
Exactly. It's a very simple language.
It is. It's like Baby Dutch.
Baby Dutch.
Baby
It's a good
Dutch.
name.
It is pretty much Baby Dutch. If you go to Holland, people laugh at our language.
I sound like a little toddler stumbling through.
It's dumbed down, very, very dumbed down. And the funny thing is that most Afrikaners are very entitled and privileged and seem to think that they know everything. But our language literally has the fewest words of most languages in the world. It's also the youngest language.
Are those facts?
It's like the language below Afrikaans is Emojicon.
Corin, are you speaking to your fan base?
No, I mean, I love it. I love simplicity. My mantra of my life is broad strokes. Whenever something's not working, it's because you're getting too intricate. It has to be simple. You have to be able to explain something in a sentence or two, and then it's good. Or a song, if it takes too long, it's probably not going to be a good song.
Okay. Well, I've got a question for you. How convenient. But Afrikaners is plezierig. I'm sure you have been questioned about this song for the 18 years that it's been around.
No, never anybody asked me anything about that.
Sarcastic. Yeah, okay, we're doing some sarcasm. All right, Corin. But, when I hear that, I immediately... So first I go, I don't really know what plezierig means.
Plezierig.
In the context, because for me...
Pleasurable.
Pleasurable. So like being Afrikaans is cool. What was your message with that?
The plezierig is more like delightful. The delightful, insinuating also actually being polite.
Ordentelijke.
Yeah, ordentlik, but polite. Being polite means to smile and pretending a bit more. It's not as natural as just being kind and friendly. Mm-hmm. Polite is being kind and friendly. Come on, Ben Howard. He's not feeling it, but he's going, hello, everybody. Welcome to my show. This one's for Sam, who wants me to say something after the first song. So that's what politeness is. And it kind of, it causes a bit of constriction in your culture. And that's what it is like to be Afrikaans. We all sit at the table and we pretend that everything's fine. My sister's having a nervous breakdown, and my brother's gay, and my father hates that, and my mother's having an affair. But we all just went to church, and now
that sounds like a normal family.
Yeah, but in Afrikaans culture, we don't talk
about it.
Don't say anything. Smile and don't share your feelings. So that's what happened there. And then I made that song, and then I screamed in the song, and that was. I don't think I really brought something that was that different to the market. I just think I was the first woman who screamed in Afrikaans. So it was like,
yeah.
And then that, then I had that gift of being loved and hated, which is horrible, but great.
I suppose if you're doing anything that's changing the way people think or what they're listening to, you are going to have people that love you, and you're going to have people that hate you. I think that's quite a normal human reaction.
Well, if you are true to yourself, you will have that reaction in your life. And we're all afraid of not being loved, but the funny thing is, if you're not being yourself, you're not really being loved. So it's better to have the 50%, hey? then
Jeepers,
the
Karen.
fake 100%.
Karen, you're making me reevaluate my whole life. But I mean, that is so crazy to me because I always thought that it's this like fun party song and it was about, Afrikaans people, it's fun to be Afrikaans. So that's hilarious that I've completely misread it. I thought it was, for me, I was like, it's so amazing that this young, blonde Afrikaans woman has reclaimed being an Afrikaner post-apartheid. Like, because I mean, post-apartheid, jammer, I must say it properly. Afrikaans must have been the least cool thing to be, especially growing up, I imagine. And now that's what I thought the song was about. But you're actually rebelling against the strictures of Afrikaans society. Karen, you're too spectacular for words.
So I've come from a culture of reappropriation, going back to we are the youngest language. So we've got this need to be pure Afrikaans, 100%. But the thing is, we're not. We're actually the melting pot. We've got everybody in us. I was on a TV show once and they checked my DNA. I've got it all, every continent.
They checked your DNA?
Yeah, you take a little bit of spit with a little bit of oorstokkie and then they...
You sure this wasn't just a COVID test they were putting you through?
Oh, no, this was years ago, before the railroad. But nobody's one race. You can look white, but you're definitely not. You can look black, you're not 100% black. I mean, unless maybe you're a tribe in the Kalahari and you literally just live there and your ancestors all just live there. Maybe.
But there was still probably some colonizer who dipped in and out
some
of there.
guy came around.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the place where people start is their community. So you know what I mean? Like you gotta start here in Kenilworth. You're starting here in Kenilworth, but you have to. You kind of want to. You're gonna get labelled, and you're gonna get boxed, and you're gonna get grouped. So make that choice yourself. And the best way to do it is to just start where you are with everything you dislike and like about who you are, and just accept it. It's like, luckily I was a drug addict when I was a young teenager, so you learn this thing of kind of like accepting. The first step is to accept.
Okay, so the camera's just cut out. Karen once said she'd get stuck in a small room with you, and now here she is. Karen, your futuristic collaboration.
Yes, I'm doing this amazing thing with a futurist in New York called Faith Popcorn, and I met her through a podcast during lockdown. Can you believe it?
Look what we do for these people.
And so, I'm making a whole album with her. It's incredible. It's going to come out probably next year.
And she's based in New York.
Yeah, and she's the futurist, the original futurist. She literally went to Coca-Cola and told them to sell water, and they said, why would people buy water? She told them in 1985. She, like the trend of in exclusive books where people have coffee.
Yes.
She literally invented that trend for Barnes & Noble, well, one of those bookshops, and she said to them, look, people don't want to buy books anymore, and they were afraid of the digital era, and she said, make it inviting.
And now she's included you in the future plans.
Well, I'm producing an album. We've formed a alternative band. She's 73 years old. She's an expert of 40 years in this field, and we are embedding her life's work. She invented 17 trends, and we're embedding it into an album. And these trends are consumer behavior. It's like small indulgences, pleasure of enjoyment. Yeah, okay, check it out. It's incredible. It's Faith Popcorn's Brain Reserve. You can learn all about her work. But she framed it as consumer behavior, but it's actually human behavior. So we've turned it into poetry and music. And
wow, fantastic.
Future, yeah.
That's amazing. But more bringing it back to South African shores. You're in Cape Town now.
Yeah.
You've got Mothership Studios.
Yes.
And how has that been? I mean, because to be a creative is one thing and make music, but then to control the means of production in this, Karl Marx would be proud.
I think you need space. Like in a relationship, if you're an artist, it's almost like being in a relationship with your art. So you need space. You need workspace like this. You need to be able to play and work. So I always say, like, I used to have crayons and pencils and now I have angle grinders and photographic equipment, and so it's just the scale of what I can do and the time, so that's yeah, to me, a dream. For me, it's always been about being able to be an artist full time. That's my game. I'm not really. I mean, I like money and I like traveling and I like doing fun things, but for me, the aim is to be an artist. It's not easy. Everybody wants to be one. So I always, invested back into art, and that kind of the studio just came about like that.
And it pays for itself almost tenfold. Okay, so that's I spoke to one of my girlfriends. It's a weird time we live in. You have to tell someone who the person is. But and we were discussing that, and that's something that's very prevalent in Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. And you need, and she was more speaking about women back in the day, and you can't make anything, you can't contribute to a community if you don't have your own space. So what are you able to do? Because you've got, I'm going to say my first Afrikaans word here, Republiek van Zuid-Afrika, which, by the way, is the best named TV show I've ever come across.
Thank you.
Apart from
Thank you.
But that's fantastic. So how do you produce that? What's been the main sort of...
For Mothership.
Yeah, for Mothership, and then because it's produced there, isn't it? You don't...
Yeah, well, originally I shot the first few series we did. We rented studios. We built Mothership from the ground, so it took a few years. But it is Mothership is a Mothership is a spaceship that's on its own voyage, like a My Creative Voyage. But then it's also a harbour for people like you and people who want to shoot a commercial, maybe somebody that wants to come and do a show or take some pictures or work, just be creative. So my dream is that it, grows and grows into a bigger creative hub. I would be happiest if I would be able to play music and make films and make TV shows and write songs with people, but also have people creating podcasts and filming things and writing together and hanging out. Because I think that's what I miss most from varsity days. When you get older, you realize, wow, what a gift it was to be, and I'm sure you felt this in lockdown now, to be around other creative people all the time, busy making stuff and suffering through it, and the camaraderie of it, it's actually drives you to work and be more productive.
Absolutely. And I think something that you're speaking to very nicely, or what comes through in what you're saying, is collaboration. I feel there's this odd, I don't know if it's a global attitude, it's certainly a South African attitude that if you have something, a concept, an idea, a show, people tend to cling onto it very tight, like this is mine, and to hear you speak about wanting to create a space. I mean, everyone says that, everyone's like, we're going to create more spaces for like black voices, and then they go do cocaine for a whole weekend in arcade. It's like you're not creating any space for any, but you're actually doing it, and that's fantastic, very exciting.
Yeah, I love people, and I think, people are horrible, but I believe everybody inherently is good. There's something to be learned from every single person, even the baddies, You really have to be Hitler before we can say, okay, Nia.
That's a good shirt.
but you have to exchange with people that are different from you. And coming back to what you said earlier about, the early days when I did Afrikaners plesierig and those things. On the one hand, you're part of a culture. You're South African, you're a woman, you're white, you're black, you're pink, you're whatever. But you cannot grow if you don't read, you don't travel, and you don't hang out with people that come from different backgrounds. Economic, spiritual, religious, sexual. You just will not grow.
No,
you won't reach your full potential, and you won't have a clear understanding of the planet.
It's almost been made, in some cases, worse by the internet, because all those things, you feel like you can almost do all of those things virtually. You can experience different cultures, you can see different videos. You're not like growing up in an apartheid state where you like there's state television and that sort of stuff. You've got all this stuff out there. But what invariably happens is that you get stuck in these echo chambers of people, they share the same stuff, they post about the same sort of topics, and then that kind of justifies your belief. And because everyone's nodding at you, I mean, you're
but
a
you forgot
celebrity.
about one thing, and that's
yes?
the robot, the algorithm.
The algorithm.
The algorithm is also the thing that's controlling us. So, and
but
we
made by humans.
Made by humans, so therefore they are going to end up being very fascist. It's already happening. Your algorithm, people are so excited to say, a friend of mine just created an app, a law firm that created an app, so you can, on the app, apply. These things are going to become very dangerous because the algorithm is going to say, oh, no, don't give the black guy the home loan because he's not a good candidate. Don't give the job to the woman because she's not a good candidate. She's going to have a baby. And give her a middle management position because when she's middle-aged, that's when she's going to be indispensable. She won't cost you a lot of money. The algorithm is saying, so people more than ever need to think for themselves and not think that they are part of this information world where everything is, it's being fed to you, and robots are being created by humans to control you.
Absolutely. No, well, I would agree with you on many fronts. I think, and that's the whole uproar that we have with like Silicon Valley, and it's like these are people who are with keystrokes shaping the world and how people think, and you know, how did they get there? It's not, I mean, politicians are useless, but at some stage they were vetted. Mark Zuckerberg, in no stage of his career has been, I mean, he was hauled in front of the Supreme Court, but the senators, congressmen speaking to him didn't even really comprehend what Facebook is or could do. So, I mean, that is the scary thing. And there are movies like The Social Dilemma. I don't know if you've seen on Netflix. It just came out. And it's, the future is exciting, but when all this Elon Musk and technology, I actually But
that's why if you're singular, if you want to live a cookie cut out life, you can live it more than you could back in the apartheid, because you can just live into your own cocoon and read and consume whatever your Netflix tells you to do. It's all about you. It's all about customization. But, I mean, interesting thing, I saw this thing the other day, Bluetooth, the B and the H. Bluetooth, when you're on your phone, the symbol for Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about a company.
It's a Viking writing, because it was a chief. His name was Bluetooth. That's why it's called Bluetooth. And he was a great communicator. That's why the Danish Ericsson invented Bluetooth. And that's why they called it Bluetooth, because it's about communication. And the Danish, even though people think it's China and America, but, I mean, the real technological advancements, the 360 vibes, the great cars and the great quality, technology stuff, comes from those cold places like Norway and Denmark and so.
Wow.
Yeah, and the coolest, weirdest music always also, comes from there. But in Denmark, kids go to a kind of a veldskole, where they go and they learn to cook and make forged swords, and because I think they know that one day as die krag regtig trip, if it's really like load shedding, and not a load shedding Eskom, when the technology for some reason cuts out, the people that will be able to make an omelette, change a tire, read a map, start a fire, who are they going to be?
The leaders of the world.
Karen, you're making... The one who can cook will be the big boss. The one who can hunt will be the big boss.
Karen, you're starting to terrify me. I feel like I need to go do a driving lesson now after this, or learn how to kill a man with my bare hands. No, I mean, that's what Corona for me has shown us. Like, we have all these airs and pretenses of who we are as this superior human race, and we're better than everything. The whole human race, I'm not kidding. We're better than nature, and COVID was like, nature can stop things, it's over, and I think that speaks to I also think that's like that trailer trash American who's stocking up on you've got someone in Brakpan
but you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody needs a mechanic.
That's true.
You know what? There's a time in everybody's life when all they need is a mechanic. We've become so full of ourselves that it feels as if we're creating things. It feels as if, so people are struggling because everything's virtual. Virtual relationships, virtual shopping, so you feel like you've achieved things. And I've catch myself, I'm not like immune to this. We all feel like we're doing a hell of a lot, but you haven't. You've been reading something on the internet and then you went this and you thought you were we get distracted so easily. Because that's why I'm super grateful for music, because if I don't play and I don't have the discipline of actually playing, I'll lose it. So I have to practice every day.
So it's repetitive, therapeutic. It's the whole
bang
shoot.
Undistracted. It's when you do that. I think all of us need something where, and people think it's children that are addicted to the internet. Of course it is, but you know how many elderly people are alone and they're just on Facebook
scrolling
all the time,
scrolling their lives away. So as the famous Barry Rue once said, I put it to you, Gordon. Do you remember that? The Oscar Pistorius, I put it to you. I put your honor, I put it to you. Everyone watched that. It was kind of gross. But anyway, we can always circle back to the drugs. I've said, I think around 30, between 35 and 40, I'm going to develop a cocaine habit, and the people around me are just going to have to move with it, because it's how I'm going to facilitate being famous. And I've already told my parents about that, so they can prepare themselves. Anyone else listening who cares for me, that's what will be happening. 35 to 40, there's a nasty coke habit.
Cocaine. It's going to make you so anxious, Sam.
I know, I'm already...
You jump, I don't know, I'd rather go for something on the downside. I think you're...
I don't have the sinuses for cocaine.
Think you have...
I don't. I have to have an ENT.
I look at your face, I listen to you speak, you're already overthinking. So it's... Cocaine is not for you.
No, I'm only teasing. This has just popped into my racing mind. I've wanted to chat to you about it, and especially archive it, because that's what I also love about this. It doesn't matter if I become a millionaire from this, probably not going to happen. Or, this implodes tomorrow. But all these interactions are forever now. And I wanted to say... It's
a very cool artistic expression. You're collecting.
All good. Okay, we're back. Corin's got a mask on. These are unsponsored ads. We just, instead of flooding the markets with some crazy new product, we give you silence. It's wonderful.
But cuts.
This isn't even the real Corin. It's your body double.
It is.
Minky van der Westhuizen. Great to have you on. Crazy.
Good choice. Perfect choice for me as a body double.
It's a flattering comment. But she's also quite old now, isn't it? No, not Minky.
Oh, Minky.
What, she was Miss South Africa?
Hey?
What was she famous for?
She's a model, world famous model.
She wasn't Miss...
That's Rolene. She was, what she was very famous for, but claim to fame, original claim to fame, was she was a Sports Illustrated model, and she was on the cover of it, and she was loved by American soldiers. She was the most popular woman. It's kind of depressing.
That's like, they're in Iraq, then they've got the cutouts and
Minky's
getting...
They're just admiring her beautiful smile.
It's one of the funniest words in Afrikaans, and it's the one
terrible. We can't say that about Minky.
Minky. Oh.
Shame.
Okay, we can't.
It's don't burn
the girl down. A soldier skommel, I believe is what
my God, no.
It's my favorite Afrikaans word. Skommel. Because what does it mean? Everyone knows. Anyway, let's talk a bit about your outfit.
Thank you.
The producer of the show said cultural appropriation.
No, bro. This is
from the Waikato tribe.
This is from the Strand. This is a girl from the Strand. Her company's called Flock.
Oh, yeah?
This is also Cape Town, Rough Tongue. They're from Kenilworth.
And they haven't approached me yet.
These amazing masks.
Yeah?
This girl makes clothing. My cousin is one of the organizers of Africa Burn.
Okay.
Is
this where the drugs came into? It was at this time you became an addict.
20 years ago. So,
really?
It's very long. When dinosaurs roamed the earth was the last time.
If you could sum your drug addiction up in a couple of sentences.
Painful.
There we go. One word. I think a lot of families would agree.
Painful towards yourself, everybody around you. It's
It's not pretty for anyone.
no.
But you. I mean, you've done it. You did drugs very early on in your
Yeah.
life. When did you develop an addiction?
13.
Oh my God!
No, I quit before
Law school.
I quit before I was 21. So I was a teenage.
You just did it
junkie.
all. Wow.
Teenage junkie.
13 to
now?
21.
Mm.
That's crazy. You never really hear of these sort of stories because you
Yeah.
come from quite a prestigious background. I mean,
I don't think so.
but your father was a diplomat, and you're
Yeah.
anything
Yeah,
but
I come
diplomatic.
from a privileged family, yes. We had a tennis court and a swimming pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when did what was the impetus for drugs?
Difficult family life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, struggled. Mother died when I was 9, father remarried. And trouble at home,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say.
Wow. You never say because usually people are broken. But that's almost maybe you accelerated all your grief when you're this young person, go through like the most turbulent time and come out the other side. Like I'm sure, well, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you'd rather have done that now than have a crack up when you've an established artist of the family. Now is not the time for...
Yeah, I think my childhood taught me... my childhood was very difficult. In one way, I was very privileged. In another way, it was extremely difficult, lonely, and scary. So, I had a big need. When I was a child, I just wanted to get out of my house. I just wanted to get away. And I was forced to be there. So I think that's what propelled me towards music. I think saved me in a big sense there. Because it was something that always, and still to this day, if I'm feeling stressed or anxious, would you say you want to use the cocaine for when you're 35 to 40 years old? I literally, if I listen to music and I calm myself.
Yeah.
If I play music, I calm myself. It's something that I kind of like cigarettes used to be that to me, like a little dummy that I used to suck on. And now it's just my music,
No more cigarettes either.
5 years clean.
Nice. A COVID high five.
Thank you. That was the hardest thing I ever did.
Really?
Yeah, harder than heroin, much harder.
Harder than heroin?
Yeah, because heroin is bad. Everybody will tell you it's bad, it's terrible, you're going to die, But
just talking a lot of shit.
No, but like cigarettes, people also, it's bad, you're going to die. But you can buy it at the shop. Someone's going to smoke it in front of you at the bar.
Yeah.
It's always there, and you've got to...
But I mean, you could take that another level, and alcohol, it's the most accepted thing. It's like a national sport in South Africa.
Yeah. I never was, I drink, but I've never been addicted to drink.
To booze.
I can do the French way. I can do 2 glasses of wine and go home. I can. I think that's when you know you can. I have friends who can't drink at all because they can't do that. But I think you have a problem if you're not able to. If you say you meet a friend for a beer, that means have 2 beers.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then or have a bottle of wine over dinner.
That's so interesting because alcoholism runs in my family.
Really.
And and I went through this very bad patch, like going through a breakup, the usual angsty bullshit, and I was literally being like scraped off pavements after parties because it wasn't. It's not like 2 drinks, you can go home. It's like 2 drinks, now I'm going to be the most drunk and the most fun and the most loud. And that kind of like becomes your personality. And it's something that I'm not like a special case, this is, it's pervasive. And I think a lot of people in Cape Town will be able to relate to it. You got this young group of binge drinkers who live for the weekend, and you'll go out to a club like Arcade and you'll get fucked up on Friday, you have the most terrible Saturday morning, you go out to another club on Saturday, you get fucked, and then like on Caprice, you're doing it again, so you've gone out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're getting either blackouts or close, and it's like a lifestyle, and it's just because people are doing it, or you're a group of people who do it, it becomes normalized, and it's just...
But you know what it is, alcohol, all the stuff we do, it's all stuff because we want to connect so badly, and we're so scared of getting hurt.
Yeah.
And so you take the drink takes the edge off, or the cigarette. Always cigarettes were like that for me. Have a smoke, because you can ask somebody for a light.
Yeah, very social.
You can speak to somebody and they can meet you. And but when you take it away, it's kind of hard to speak to a stranger.
Because just you.
Because it's like, hi, how are you? How are you? You know, and so it's hard to be a grown up, Sam. It's hard. It doesn't get easier, I'm afraid.
No, I didn't imagine. But I feel
I have no words of wisdom about that.
You've got to go through like now I'm very aware of alcohol in my life. And we were out the other day, and you have 2 or 3 beers and you're at Hudson's, because I've been a prisoner to my own mind during Corona because of the language of Corona. It's like, if you give it to your parents, they're gonna die. And you're like, fuck, so you're very, you're very careful. And so it's the first time I'm out, I'm having a few beers, and you kind of feel that, you're slipping, and you could have, and then you go. But my thing, which is good now, is like there's no jaw, so you must stop. Because there's no party, because I'm not going to go into a club of people now and socialize. So Corona made me sober.
Wow.
That's a joke. But yeah, I think it's also people, famous people like yourself, other artists, South African artists, Robert Downey Jr., they all have these stories of, where but a lot of normal people, normal South Africans battle with this daily, and it's just because of the liquor industry in South Africa, there's such a booze culture that you just do it, like imagine a group of men standing around a braai without alcohol. It would be weird.
Yeah.
It would.
Well, actually, no. I mean, I know because I'm a muser, I know a lot of people that are completely recovered alcoholics, like Theo's got the story. He was at a gig and the guy was like, he was bringing everybody tequila, and everybody had a tequila. The kids want to, and Theo's been dry for almost 25 years, and he's like, "Do you want a tequila?" And Theo's like, "No, I don't drink." And the guy's like, "Pussy." It's like, all the things the guy could say.
You're pussy.
That sums up what it's like. But if you're strong in yourself, and once again you're doing it. If you know why you're doing something, then what other people say.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit of a sensitive soul, and most people actually are. If you're a sensitive person, but and artistic people, we're all prone to the dark side. We're all prone to overthinking, and that's what Corona did to the world now. We're all confronted at the same time with mortality, but also on life. So, life. What do you want out of your life? You can't, we don't know. I don't know how long mine still is. You don't know about yours. We can try and have extend it, but a truck could hit me when I walk out the garden gate here. It doesn't, there's no guarantees. But, if you're a sensitive person, you are drawn to, and if you're intelligent, you overthink things, which is why I don't use cocaine, because you're going to think even more.
That thing is going to be holed up.
I cried so much on cocaine.
Really?
Something. Woo, you cry at the end of that night.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't go to sleep.
No, I was only joking about cocaine. Can't. Like I said, I've got too many sinus issues for cocaine. But anyway, speaking of raging alcoholics, you collaborated recently with A.B. de Villiers. Everyone knows he likes to hit the bottle.
Abe. The A for alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcoholic beer, de Villiers. No, A.B.
You can speak about him. I know you guys are close. Get a beer franchise going.
No, A.B. has a beer, but he's like a straight edge. He's probably the most straight edge person I've ever worked with. More than Annelie van der Rooyen. He's truly like a head boy dude.
Really?
But a nice one. The one that the good one.
The good head boy.
Yeah, the nice head boy suddenly doesn't sound like a good word.
It seems like an insult.
Gross.
What's happening?
So, he was on my show. And when he came onto the show, I said, you have to sing, because he loves music. I know his family as well, and they all play guitar and sing around the fire and kind of thing. And he made a little album a few years ago, and I said to him, come on the show and sing. And then I said to him, why don't we do an album? So The Flame came about. We're actually working towards doing a full album for AB, because I think it'll be great,
I'm convinced you taught him how to sing. And
No.
let me go here. There was because Brad Holmes is, the bass line, and Brad's in Joburg, and if you're in Joburg and do what Brad, you like kind of know everyone somehow. And he would always joke, like AB, he's the most talented sportsman South Africa has probably ever seen in terms of just sheer talent. Wade van Niekerk, you're in my thoughts. But, he's like, why is he trying to play guitar? And then, they would joke a bit about him.
Yeah.
When he came onto your show, there was no it was good.
Yeah.
It was seriously good. And then, is it Die Vlam or The Flame?
The Flame.
Okay.
The Flame.
Broader audience.
And the thing is, The Flame is, I sing, we fan the flame, and he sings, we found the flame, because we had to do it remotely. So it's like that. I could have done my vocal over, but I thought it's actually quite funny and like poetic that, he's got it, the head boy, and I'm still fanning and trying to get the fire going. And I just left it like that.
Wow, that's hilarious. Because did you know that the Protea's whole marketing campaign stemmed from Protea Fire? Or is that just a happy coincidence? Yeah, because their whole it was like Protea Fire.
No.
And other Proteas are in fire because of Cricket South Africa.
because of the fire, yeah.
Oh, no, you look at where your mind is. You're just a couple steps ahead of me. I meant like CSA. It's like bankrupt and corrupt. And
I'm seeing that King Protea on Table Mountain after the fire.
Holier than thou, Corin. You're such a wonderful soul. I'm like corruption. You're like...
The fire brings new life. It cleanses the phone boards.
So we've spoke a bit about famous people here. Who is the one who's on your sort of pedestal? I know you don't put people on pedestals, but who's some person that walk into a room, they would really command your...
There's actually so many people. It's not that it's nobody. It's actually that it's so many people. And maybe you think I don't, but I am scared when I do those interviews. I crapped myself when I interviewed Thuli Madonsela, when I Peter Dirk Uys, like Johnny Clegg, I cried. It's blind. You actually do these things that are not, I don't do them because it's easy. It's hard, it's scary, but I'm a real fangirl.
Okay.
To my detriment.
But
so I'm that middle-aged, that exploitable. I've got an exploitable quality to my personality, but I love.
Look at you. You're kids on toast.
Yeah, look at me now. I love hanging out with nice people. I love hanging. Like, this is great. I've been forced to hang out with horrible people. I was forced to go to horrible schools. I was forced to go to horrible family gatherings and sit through boring things in my life. So, if I can hang out with cool people and interesting people, and I'm happy.
That's lovely.
I'm happy.
Do you ever feel people are, because they constantly want something from you because you are this brand, so how do you not define but differentiate between coming on and really doing me a favor here versus feeling like someone's just constantly exploiting you?
No. Well, I will not be exploited consciously in any ways. I own my work, and I do have my personal boundaries. And by the way, I'm not here because of anything other than it is for me also. It's good for me to not just stay in the same place doing the same things with the same established people. I want to find the new kids who eat toast. I want to connect with, and I think my whole life I live by that, that you learn from everybody, and you need to have friends that are older than you, and you need to have friends that are younger than you. And then I want to learn from you. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just here to be with you and share and exchange. And I think that is what's changed in the world that I'm grateful for. Because when I was a kid, it was like, jy sal dit doen en jy sal so staan, and this is what a girl does, this is what a boy does, this is how you sit, that's what your opportunities is. And now it's not about that. This is the boss, the older person is, and the kids are... they've seen and not heard. Now it's different. We've learned that Greta Thunberg, has a person who is Asperger's, who in my generation and our time would have been discredited as any kind of ways, can affect the planet.
Yeah.
You know, and that is, I think, wonderful. And I live by that. So there's no, I think the biggest problem you have when you're young, or when you're starting out, is that you have imposter syndrome and you're new to it. And I think I've been sent here to tell you, you will have it for the rest of your life. Get used to it. Just get used to it. I feel like it all the time. I'll sit in an interview at a show. I'm like, I worked with Faith Popcorn. I was like, how's this happening? I'm talking to A.B. de Villiers. We're doing this big thing. How did this happen?
Yeah.
But it's just, feel it. Yeah. Wow, this is cool. Or, whoa, I can't believe. But then, okay. And I'm here, so let me try. I've got a shot. Because that's what happens to us. We feel, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough. Or they're gonna notice that I don't really know anything. And it's like, you know what? Nobody knows anything. Donald Trump could be the president for America for a couple of years. Then anything is possible.
Believe in yourself, you donkeys. Yeah.
Believe in yourself, and confidence is one thing he taught us. When I was 19, my band sucked. But the music I listened to, great music. As long as I'm reading the books that I think I aspire, and you never ever stop aspiring. And I think the people that become arseholes are the ones that at some point decide that they know things. They know everything. They're experts.
No.
Talking so much shit here.
It's usually like funny shit. This is like life lesson.
Very deep.
But
going deep, Dr. Phil.
Irrespective of what happens, what we've experienced here has changed the way I think already. So that's literally what you're saying, is you put yourself into positions with young people, old people. And again, that's what I feel. Again, I'm going on that white man little pity party. In Corona, we've been robbed of that. Of course, like we've seen fantastic creative projects. People have been like, okay, I can pursue this. This was born in Corona. But then in terms of actually interacting with people, that's not there. And that's why these like small, but studio interactions are just so precious. And so thank you for all those nice things. Corin, you've been absolutely fantastic. When I say it has been a privilege, I genuinely mean that. It's been so lovely to chat to you.
And for me too. Love it. Love the toast. Wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Aww. The last people didn't say thank you. I was like, where must I make up this quote from? I just
because you don't have enough Afrikaans people on the show.
Lekker mens. That's my favorite thing.
Change.
Lekker mens. Let's just make this an Afrikaans show.